Hey everyone, and welcome to the Uke Stuff channel. Today I want to show you how I'm going to attempt to save this ukulele. This is a Glarry UC205, and some time ago the company contacted me and asked me if I'd like to review one of their products. And being the person that I am, I didn't ask for the most expensive kind. I actually asked for what was at the time one of the cheapest ukuleles in their catalog, and I thought it would also be very popular because of the heart shape. So when I got it, I played it and I couldn't figure out what was going on, and I want to see if you guys can see what's going on here. As I played it, I realized something, which is the frets seem to be okay until you get to here, and then this one's suddenly much longer. Now, can't do it completely perfectly, but here's the new protege, which is by Cordoba, and look at the fret size difference here in that first fret. You'll notice the Glarry is substantially taller. And for a while I was thinking about what to do with the Glarry. I didn't want to review it because I couldn't give it even one, or part of an ukulele in terms of a review as I review. And there are some other concerns with this instrument. There's a lot of glue mess. The wood is chipped. There's weird stain blotches on it, and some discolorations. So when I didn't want to, be negative about it, but I've been thinking about it lately, and I think I can do something. And here's what I'm going to do. I want to measure. I've already looked, and the Cordoba is about the same when it comes to fret spacing as the Glarry. So if I can measure the space of what the protege is using my digital caliper, and by the way, one of the most important things that I've bought. So if I can measure what this space is supposed to be between the nut and the first fret, 18.07 millimeters, then what I can do is I can go over to the Glarry and measure down 18.07, draw a line, and then cut it. And while I don't have the fancy tools to do it, I have my coping saw that I use to cut the baseboards, my wooden baseboards around our house. So I can take that measure of 1807, draw a line, cut, and then move the nut down. It'll look a little goofy. There might not be stain under there, but that's what I'm going to do. So here I go. It's still at 18 point, it's now 18.8. It's just a hair off. I'll see if I can adjust it a little bit. 1807. And again, super specificity is not required. I'll see where that falls in there. Okay, that's pretty decent. And then what I was going to do was put a piece of tape across those two marks. So can you see how much further? I'll show you how much further this first fret is, which would keep it from ever playing in tune. Now this is not something you should have to do on a traditional ukulele. The frets are sharp too and other things, but this one has been just sitting out. And it's just, it's a laminate ukulele. The laminate's pretty thick too, but a lot of people are going to be attracted to it because of that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my coping saw and I'm going to cut straight across this line here. I'm just above it with what I'm doing. So let's see how this works. I gotta go slow. Make sure I don't cut too far down. That side's almost done. I'm gonna go very slow here. until the piece comes out. It should be coming out pretty soon. Now again, I would hope that you would never have to do this with your ukulele. I'm going to go get my 8-in-1 octopus tool. Just take the flathead and see if I can pop this off here with a bit of force. We're not quite ready yet. And again, I'm chewing this up a little bit. This you can actually pop off a lot of times. The nut. There we go. Good, I got the nut off. And now you can see it's unfinished under there, but I don't want to go much deeper in the wood there. And again, I would not do this on a ukulele that costs a lot more. All right, it's starting to come out here. There we go. Another chunk is gone. Another chunk is gone. Now, what I can do is I can take a sanding block. I can sand that part smooth. Then I should be able to put this nut right back. It's not going to look so pretty there, but it's going to be the right height then for that next string, or for that next fret. You can see we'll be ready to go. I'll need to just maybe get a little dark stain and touch that up if I want. But first step will be to glue this in and see that if that all works. String it up and see what happens. Right now, just a little bit of glue. Just requires a couple touches of glue, not a whole lot. Put that on. Good deal. Well, I can't find the original saddle that it came with. I've got some Enya fluorocarbon strings. I don't want to put anything too expensive on here. There's no point in it, because this could be an experiment that becomes total failure. So the extra strings that came with the Enya might be quite good to do that. I'm going to turn this way so that I can work on it. Back. And I'm kind of weird. I always like my strings to be facing away from my strumming hand. I just don't get caught that way or poked that way. So there's the first string. And I'm going to need a clipper. And a string winder. When I'm dealing with this string, I don't ever leave any slack in it. I just let it naturally go, and then I just hold it down up here so the string wraps over it. I want to make sure that second one goes over it too. There we go. Now you can see that the nut is moving as it's gluing down, so I want to get the other side down as well. String 4. And again, this saddle is way too big. We never know in terms of action. It might be right over there, and I just have to cut it shorter. So, all right, over, then around a couple of times. There we go. There we go. Cut off this end with a sticker we don't need. feeding it through. So again, the short strings, I don't ever leave any extra lead in when I tighten them. I just let them naturally hold. I just make sure this tail goes over as I wind, and that seems to work for me. I know some people thread them around and through. I don't find the need to do that. And see what it does is it forces the string to the bottom of the peg. All right, now I can cut the tails off of these guys. You can see that it's wound around and it's ready to go. So I can just cut the tails off of these guys real quick. Nothing to hold on to those for at the moment. Then we'll put on string 2. These are very thin gauge fluorocarbon strings. And I'm not sure which Enya they came with. I might have this bridge in here upside down too. And if that's the case, it's not a big problem. That's fixable. One, two. There we go. Now, with the E string, I always leave a little bit of play in winding the E string. So I get it tight first, and then I back it up and give it some slack, and that's usually enough to do it. And then it's just a matter of, I gotta hold it with the other hand to wind, being right-handed. Just wind it around, and I keep going until I get tautness in. This is the one that I have the hardest time making look nice. So I always go around the back, then I go under, and there's where the loop is, and then I go over, and I do it twice. Never had any problem stringing ukuleles this way. There's going to be somebody that's going to tell me I'm doing it wrong, and that's fine, I guess. Just ignore the hundreds of ukuleles that I've strung. All right, now, again, I want to back off and give it some slack before I tighten it. And start tightening. Probably too tight. All right, time to get the actual tuner. Although I can go here and just snip off these ends real quick. Oh, and then I gotta trim these up here too. So we'll get this guy. We'll get this guy. Now, time for a tuner and see if it sounds all right. All right, here we go. Now, one of the things I wanted to check was harmonics at the 12th, so that seems okay. How about at the 7th? That seems okay in the 5th. Oh, can't get the C. So I'm hearing the harmonics in the right spot. So the action at the first fret, I usually use these indicators. It's under 0.5 millimeters at the first, and it is 2 millimeters at the 12th. So it is, action is really low with an absolutely giant saddle down there. Again, we're out of tune again. And that's going to happen for a while. Yeah, I think that's going to work. So if you didn't catch what we did here, we cut out that much off of the fretboard to make it roughly equal to the protege, and that's gonna work. Used a coping saw, didn't get really fancy with it, cut into the wood a little bit, which is just fine, because remember, this was gonna be at best maybe a birdhouse, but now it's actually gonna be a playable instrument. So thank you for watching, and we will have more content for you in the very near future. Just is going to keep going out of tune.